All right, hello and welcome everyone to the No Logic Finals. My name is This Is Not Yoho. You can just call me Yoho, and I am here with Tim. Good evening, Tim. How's it going?
Hey, I'm so excited for this race. Hard to believe we're already at the finals, but should be a good race. Should be about to start pretty soon as well, so...
Yeah, we should be starting pretty soon. We have Chex coming from the lower bracket. Going to start with a disadvantage versus Malmo, who has dominated the upper bracket. And
A free win in this series as a result of coming from the winner's bracket. She's only dropped a single game so far, I believe, which is really, really impressive.
oh yeah, pretty incredible. Malmo's match against Krithel was a pretty amazing lesson in playing rando.
The book in sync.
We got them both starting in different spots. They'll come back around to the other one spot soon enough. And
Chex in particular, a lot of people will do this Herber into Flipper's Chex route that Malmo is going to do, probably. Chex will put it off and hopefully do Zora. And a lot of people will not do Zora if they're doing the swimming route early, because Zora is a check that costs so many rupees. Holy moly, that is a useful item. But if there's something at Zora, it's very likely that Chex will be the only one who has it.
you say that, but Malmo has specifically gotten Zora to play anti. Like in her game against Krithel, in her games against Krithel, she specifically got Zora just to kind of play against Krithel's meta.
Possible. I mean, we'll see, obviously. There's a lot of options that you have to route in a logic seed. For deck Kane early, especially, there is a lot of extra things that we can do.
Yeah, the Cane of Samaria is certainly the most powerful single glitching item, with maybe the exception of the bottle. But you can do a lot with the Cane.
Not super powerful by itself, but once we start getting some other things and we start dipping some dungeons, then we'll really start to, hopefully, see a lot of very special things done with it. Oh look, it's a little bullied by the crabs. That's one of the rough parts about doing this route early, is dealing with crabs. With
Yeah, you have
and
no health.
weapons.
They do 2 hearts.
Yeah. But she gets through. We'll see if Chex goes into Cat here. A lot of people like putting off Grieger, but Chex usually does it from the
Oh, there's
south.
the
He does it
flippers in the
very
waterfall.
classic no logic flippers. It's kind of really painful actually, because it slows down doing these checks.
I don't know. You got options. You can swim clip to the mountain now.
Yeah. She could do that over. A little tough with only 3 bombs.
I guess she's getting that
Chex.
key. Yeah.
Yeah. She could have swim clipped, but it's hard to think of doing that when you can just do it normally. Yeah, Chex has made his way to the mountain, which is something that Malmo will almost certainly do very early as well. It's a really nice thing to have the extra save and quit point. Let's see if Chex gets that key. Small keys are generally relatively skippable. Yeah, Chex is skipping that one. Wait, what is this?
This okay. Chex changed his mind. Now he's going to get the old man.
Just a moment of confusion. But yeah, we've seen Malmo probably doing the same thing, the Lost Woods area into going up Death Mountain. She has the cane, but no magic to really use it as a weapon or a switch hitting device in Harem. She finds some magic from a tree. Could be pretty useful. Because Chex right now is totally defenseless.
And with half a heart.
Yes. Death Mountain definitely lives up to the name in glitched modes.
But he's made it back off. He's in the King's Tomb. Gonna stock up on bombs. Probably stock up on some hearts. Yeah.
Also probably stock up on some rupees by continuing this into a Wuhan, which is something that happens pretty much for free when you clip down off the mountain because of the way that it affects your camera. We'll see where he chooses to go from this turn. There are so many options early on in a no-logic race that a lot of the time we'll just see both
What do
rounds
you think?
do different things, and then I think he'll probably continue to put off South Shore. Maybe do Sahasrara.
Yeah,
I think
the green
he'll wait
pin
for
info's
Zara money.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we're doing the same thing. Chex did a different version of this where he went straight to Hera. But this is the much more commonly seen one, where Malmo just clips straight into the old band cave from the front. Green Pendant Swamp is pretty interesting. Swamp could be one of the harder dungeons to do. Although with the cane, kind of, and the flippers, in fact, it really reduces the difficulty of Swamp.
Yeah, the cane and the flippers kind of made it immediately doable already, but not gonna matter here.
Yeah, really, a lot of seeds kind of end up becoming defined by which dungeons we can skip because of their pendants. With the amount of glitches we have access to and the knowledge of both of these runners who are good enough to make it to the finals, we can find Go Mode equipment sets very low percent. And that can be really challenging, especially when we have to do not only difficult gameplay, but difficult glitches to even get to bosses. With the cane though, it can make a lot of things simpler, and especially with dungeons like Swamp being a pendant, or we might hope to see something like Maya be a pendant, it can really reduce the difficulty of the seed. Chex is actually in South Shore without the 500 rupees that I thought he would wait for, which kind of surprises me a little bit.
That right toss.
Yeah. He does have a lot of bombs, but he would really like to not run out.
Well, we're more than likely going to see Chex want to use some of these bombs to clip the King's Tomb, or to juke the King's Tomb.
Yes. Bombs are very useful, not only for killing things when you have no weapons, but also for doing some glitches, particularly in doorways. That's another item that we can use to glitch in doorways, that bottle. But yeah, this juke will kind of let Chex hit the transition from a different side. It so happens that King's Tomb is on the other end of Mini Waldon Cave, and he can get that item. Just a piece of heart, which we could tell from the audio. There's going to be probably a number of invisible items that we get in this seed, so every single one that we can figure out is a much easier task for us.
Chex is still putting off the Zora area. Going to, I guess, do CAC now.
Yeah. He usually does CAC in this way that nobody else really does. That kind of leaves a handful of checks, particularly in desert. Having the king is something that's really nice for your desert trip. He doesn't know that it's easy to get, so hopefully he doesn't get punished for not having it. If we see Malmo go to Kakariko soon with the cane, she'll probably end up doing some extra things that Chex will not be able to do. Oh, he's doing the jump to bumpers. I really love this. This is pretty cool.
Coming into Agina. Running out of here is slow.
Yeah, he might Well, look into desert, I guess. Who knows, with Chex, he has some very creative routing sometimes. I was about to get a bottle as well.
I was thinking, you know, how do you like anti-meta Chex when I feel like Chex most of the time has no idea what Chex is gonna do.
Yeah, that's really true. Ooh, nice sword. Chex definitely has quite an interesting take on routing. It's because he has a lot of knowledge, really. He can do things that pretty much no one else can, and combine things in really interesting ways. So it could be hard to tell what he's doing, but it might not seem like it, but he usually does have a plan. That sword is pretty good. Swords are very useful. Oh,
well, there's another one.
That one is very duplicable as well. So the seed is looking surprisingly free already. Yeah, swords are good not just for having a weapon, but for a number of glitches as well. Having a sword, the ability to do spin speed, or spins in general, can let runners do a lot of extra glitches. But the ice rod as well, that's one of 2 ice rods in this seed. Since in this tournament we're playing No Logic with double rod item pool. And yeah, he's setting up a quadrant glitch here, which breaks his transition enough that it allows him to go to the right side without opening the small key door, which is pretty useful. He made sure to damage himself before doing it so that he could death warp out, which he does very nicely.
And meanwhile, Malmo is doing Kakariko.
Yes, she found a boomerang, which is pretty good. Surprisingly useful for glitching, depending on what kind of items we get. We'll see Chex come to Kakariko from the south, coming up from desert, and we'll probably see Malmo end up doing the opposite, where she goes down into desert from Kakariko. With the cane, she does have the option of attempting to dupe the sword. I'm not sure if she knows how to.
Yeah, that's a weird one because you kind of gotta do it in the fairy room door. So you gotta do bomb setup, and then it creates a bunch of pits. So you just have to die and then reset the dungeon.
Having an early template slot is pretty high value in my opinion, so it'd be pretty cool to see her do it. Red Meringue as well.
Oh yeah, Red Boom's great.
Yeah, Red Boom is much better than the Blue Boomerang for glitching.
Alright, someone in chat's asking why bother getting the map. This is full key sanity, so we have no idea what is crystals or pendants. And they have to know what crystals there are because they need to beat the bosses of the crystal dungeons, and they need to collect the prizes of those dungeons. Now, they don't necessarily have to get the prize from that dungeon itself, and we'll probably see people get prizes from Hera that are actually other dungeons' prize.
It's very relatively simple a lot of the time to dupe dungeon prizes, although it's not really duping them. And yes, a lot of the time, knowing whether or not you're in go mode depends on whether or not you know the crystals and pendants. Go mode is really, really fluid in No Logic. There's a lot of different combinations of items that can let you complete any given seed. The one thing we might expect to need to look for would be rods, and that's only in the case that Todoroki is a crystal, since we'll need to be able to kill Trinex at some point. So we have a handful of other kind of item locations to go to after these checks. Things like Paradox Cave are quite tempting, Escape as well as possible. But we'll need to figure out probably beating some dungeons at some point soon, especially given how many items both of them have already. There's a number of dungeons that are very accessible at the moment.
Yeah, the big thing is so far that I don't think either have a cave state big key.
Yeah.
So we might see escape sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we're going to be spending a lot of time in cave state probably, and having certain big keys will let us... The game will act as though we have big keys in cave state if we have those big keys. It happens that one of them is the big key that we get from the ball and chain guard, so it's guaranteed to be there no matter what happens. Here we see Malmo doing something with the king from Desert that Chex was not capable of doing. And this is a pretty useful glitch. She's gonna do a transition corruption here, which will take her, strangely enough, to Thieves' Town. She's gonna be able to do a couple things here. She's gonna open the attic, which will make Thieves' Town much quicker later on. She's gonna get an item, which is potentially useful, and she's gonna steal a small key, which sounds strange since we...
Oh, no, maybe just death warping straight out from here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Doesn't want the key, I guess. She could have stolen a key and used that to open the door in on the right side, which is not necessary for the items, as we saw on Chex's side, but for doing glitches in that door, we would want it open. And it happens that there's some pretty useful glitches that we can do in that door.
Yeah, the swamp checks would have been pretty quick and easy if she had gotten that key.
See Chex in the Zora area with his 500 plus rupees. So this is potentially a big point, is whether Zora has something or not. It could really change how this race looks. Death warping. She doesn't have a ton of checks to do in the area still. There's like a couple outside of Desert, but it'll be interesting to see where their plan takes them after these sets of checks that they're both doing. We see that Zora is just a small key there, so good news for Malmo.
Yeah, I mean, with the bottle, maybe the escape play into Thieves.
Yeah, Thieves' Town is a surprisingly easy dungeon to beat with one bottle, even without a bottle sometimes. So it's typically a dungeon seen very early.
I'm getting these Hera checks on Chex's side, which probably will lead to East Death Mountain. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Chex was unable to get these items the first time he was here because he had no way of getting the switches apart from bombs, and he chose to hold onto them, but it's not that big a deal since we come to Hera like 100 times in any no logic seed. I think he didn't... Oh, he probably checked the tablet the first time.
Yeah, I think he did.
Was going somewhere. I'm not sure where. To the back desert. She's just gonna be desert? Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, there's another sword even. So duping the one sword will not be necessary at all. Yeah, this is quite a lot earlier than we see Landmo usually done. It'll be interesting to see whether she collects the prize of the dungeon, because it can occasionally be useful to collect the desert prize from another boss's arena and use collecting the prize to be walked to the front of that dungeon instead.
Yeah, but at this point, it's just Meyer knowing that Swamp is bad.
Yeah, that's true.
That might have fit into this decision as well.
Yeah, maybe. As well as not stealing the key for Desert. Although she does steal this key from the back. She came all the way to the back and grabbed a key, which might look a little silly, but that's kind of necessary for this glitch to... Oh, she drank the potion. But yeah, the glitch that she would have done would have looked quite a bit different if she hadn't gone all the way to the back there. We saw Chex find not much other than the last sword. So he's pretty stacked on offense for now.
I guess not duping it was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the escape way for Chex. I think he still has his potion, so he has the option of continuing this route into Thieves Town, which we get to from the uncle, surprisingly enough. This is kind of funny, but Mama was lost time on these tablets because she's checking them with swords and got some not super valuable items. It's kind of a little bit of a relief to see a seed where there's no cave stable keys and we're likely pretty much forced to do escape for it. There's been a handful of... It's very common sometimes for someone to put off escape because they got a cave stable key and then leave something useful here. It's not looking like it will happen this season.
We could be seeing Pod right now, Tam.
We could be... We don't have our cave stable key for that yet though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if we saw it. Oh, Malmo's doing a trick that, I think Foxlisk loves a lot, where you hit the fairy rock with an item, and then the fairy is guaranteed to be there.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to collect.
Yeah, you grab it straight away if you boomerang a certain part of the rock. Which is pretty useful knowledge. Not a major glitch by any stretch, so you can feel free to use that in your no major glitch rando seeds. Check's reward with a shield for his escape way. Yeah, Chex will probably be taking this to our first real dungeon trip. Well, aside from Melmer's failed desert YBA. He'll come from the uncle to Thieves Town. His Thieves Town trip will be slower than Malmer's as a result of not having opened the attic already. Malmo will be able to save kind of a whole loop through the dungeon because of having done that. Nice bow. That's a pretty good item for glitching, as well as for beating dungeons normally. And a second
And all
model.
blue, wow.
We're definitely getting a little bit close to a potential bear mode in this seed, but...
Just hinging
We
on
really-
what TR is.
Yeah, for sure. Although we need a fire source, regardless of Turtle Rock. And here's a YBA, which Malmo tried to do in Desert, but Chex successfully did in the Uncle Passage, takes him to Thieves Town. And because he came from a cave, this is cave state, he has essentially 255 small keys, and because of having the higher class big key, he has a big key. Which is useful for beating this dungeon without needing any keys at all.
Yeah, and also, a lot of doors in dungeons, the backside of the big key doors is just a small key door.
I'm just gonna do some more swimming here. to get to back of escape without a glove, hopefully. It can be a little funny.
I think this is her plan to escape because she might do the
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
juke.
yeah, she might. She does like doing that juke. And since she has swords, she's not going to be isolating Castle Tower, which is one sometimes problem that you run into. You do that route. Medallion can be pretty useful if Maya's a crystal. Skipping the medallion requirement for Maya is one of the most difficult things that can come up. So you always want to see to not need to do that. Okay, she did try the juke, but failed. Should probably just go the normal way.
Normal, in quote. Oh, she is just going the normal way. I was expecting the river clip like Chex did.
Yeah, this is a little too normal for my tastes. The river clip is nice, but it's... I'm not even sure if it's... Oh, okay, she's not doing it the normal way, never mind. Thank you, Malmo.
The jump!
Yeah, she's doing some fun stuff here. Showing off a little bit. Oh no, she got it wrong.
I have no idea. I don't know how to do this.
Well, hopefully we'll see her try it again, because it's pretty cool. Oh, a fire rod in Blind Cell. This could mean a lot for this seed. Go mode is looking like it could be real close right now. And that's regardless of our crystals and pendants.
Is there any dungeon they can't finish right now?
It will probably depend on Maya. Well, I mean, Maya Medallion matters, but not in terms of whether it's possible, but how quick and easy it'll be. I don't think there's a dungeon they can't beat. Especially with 2 bottles. It's really hard to see a world where they're not actually in go mode right now. Oh,
Right, so,
and
yeah, since Chex beat Blind and Cave State here, you don't get the prize for the dungeon. Chex is going to have to leave the dungeon and then re-enter it to be able to get the prize for what Thieves Town is, so that's when we'll figure out what Thieves is, whether it's a crystal or a pendant.
Yeah, the visual glitch he did was not just to look funny, it's actually necessary for him to be able to leave the room, since it prevents the door from closing. And when he leaves these down, even though he doesn't have the pearl, he's going to be Link. This is because of never actually entering a world transition portal. He came from the light world. Oh my goodness, that's pretty funny. He came from the light world, never entered a portal, so he will still be in the light world on a dark world screen, which is called fake dark world, but it will only last until he does a world screen transition, which will put him on a light world screen. But the real question kind of is, at this point, what do you do? Do you just start go-merding everything?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you do next?
There's a handful of dungeons that are pretty simple to beat right now. Easton can be done normally, but it's kind of slow to do it normally. There's Desert, which is always pretty simple to do, which we didn't get to see the prize of from Malmo earlier. Skullwoods is also a very quick dungeon to do, and simple. It doesn't require many glitches to get there. Do you see that Thieves Town is a crystal? Which is kind of good news for Malmo, but she was gonna end up here without knowing whether it was a pendant or a crystal anyway.
Wait, did she get another potion?
She just got one from her uncle. I think she bought one before going to...
I just saw the ice rod get fired out. Yeah, okay, so yeah, she has a green again. So yeah, this is Thieves Town from Malmo.
Oh, I think that was the map of Turtle Rock, which is not actually that useful, but it's useful in a seed where you don't have the rods yet. It's useful in the seed just for knowing whether you have to do it or not, and maybe making your trip there early. She's about to get a fire rod here, Malmo. And then we kind of have to see what both of them choose to do, since they have the same items. They don't have mostly the same things done. It would be really, really nice if we could find some extra items, namely the lamp and the hookshot. Not only is it access to some more fun glitches, but it's also quite a lot faster if we can use the hookshot to beat a lot of these dungeons.
Want to see pod from Chex?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you clear? Like, how much do you clear for these?
Yeah. Even aside from glitching items, we have Gold Sword and like not like tons of odds, but we're not super low. We might see like, he's staying in the dungeon. He might just be opening this door and leaving. Okay, he's staying.
And going straight to the big key chest, so indicating he's not going to do the juke to hookshot cave.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, the juke to hookshot cave works for getting the TR though.
Yeah, it does. With the big key, it's kind of a little... You can kind of enter TR from wherever you want. There's a handful of ways there, but the juke is one of the easiest.
I guess you have a blue in your pocket, so whenever you want, you could go there.
Yeah, it can be kind of hard in No Logic Seeds when you're suddenly kind of thrust into go mode and you have to figure out whether you actually want to go mode, how you're going to do it, what order you're going to do things in. It can be quite challenging and interesting to see how different runners approach it. You see Chex doing item checks, so he might not feel great about this go mode, and it's probably, if I had to guess, due to his lack of any medallions. So if mine is a crystal, then no matter what, it's going to be a real pain for Chex. Oh my goodness, that's the lamp. That's a really
huge.
Nice one.
Yeah.
That's really nice, not only for glitching, but for Ganon, so we don't have to worry about potentially doing extra checks to make Ganon simpler. We could just... Oh my god.
Wow.
This place is loaded. The pearl is not a necessary item in No Logic, but it definitely makes getting around and doing dungeons quite a lot quicker. And the lamp as well. Not only useful for seeing in the dark, but if we get some more items, even with some of the items we have now, there's some glitches we can do that the lamp will assist us with doing.
Yeah, the real question on everyone's mind, at least my mind, are we about to see Murder Bomb for Helma?
That is a good question. And we may very well see it. It's quite doable with the items that Chex has. It makes the fight quite a lot simpler in my opinion. And these are checks that Malmo with a medallion might consider skipping. We don't want to see that, obviously. But of all the things you could find in the back of Pod, Chex kind of found some of the best items.
Chex is out of here.
Yeah, he needs to open Hera somehow. Without the hookshot, he can't do Hera Pod. So this maybe is a little strange. It changes the pits in the room so that they make him fall instead of voiding him out. And it happens that the tile, for whatever reason, has a return destination from falling of Moldom's room. And he's still here in cave state. He never left and re-entered, so he still has a big key. And he can open this door, which is kind of a difficult problem for him to otherwise get around. I was looking a little unsure of what to do. I think she wanted to go to Landmo again, but forgot that she used her green potion and got a blue one from the Uncle bottle.
Yeah, blue was kind of useless there.
Mr. Pyre is also bringing up that opening the door is not just useful for beating Hera by climbing Hera. It's useful for what Chex might need to do, will have to do with the medallion if Myra is a crystal, which involves deleting a door by writing the open door flag from that door to another tile. But Chex is going to really hope that he doesn't have to do that, because it's very arduous and annoying.
Alright, so we're going to see Eastern from Malmo, maybe into Meyer with a YBA?
Yeah, maybe. Knowing the medallion requirement could be super huge. We'll see how many checks she does in this dungeon as well. Some of them start to feel really slow when you're in potential ego mode. She could have done a quadrant glitch route through this dungeon that would have been pretty interesting, but it's kind of hard to do all the item checks using it. So maybe she's just committing to full clearing and doing it normal.
You just always end up leaving this right side chest.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we have some maps. Crystal Maya. Potentially really, really bad news for Chex. And Pendant Turtle Rock is not a huge deal given the items that they already have. Chex is doing his DMD that takes him to Bumper Cave. This one's pretty cool. He's gonna take this to Skullwoods, where he has another dungeon waiting for him. With only one pendant remaining, every single dungeon is quite a lot more likely to be a crystal.
It's interesting. I guess right now you just think about comboing Pod with doing the dupe for Meyer.
Potentially. Or finding a mirror and going to Eastern. Homosaur is slightly lower priority now for Chex, but it's one of the quickest dungeons that he can be right now. And the information is so huge that we might see him go back even without finding anything to combo anything with. Kinda looks like Malmo skipped the Biki chest in Easton. She might go back in for it. There's a glitch she can do that will take her straight there, so it doesn't make a lot of sense and no logic to combine the Biki chest with the rest of Easton. And I'm not sure if she has a potion to take her into Maya, so she might just be doing.
Yeah, I think she bought a red from the store.
She's just leaving it, so she's probably thinking a little bit about Gomerdia.
Yeah, Eastern was also a crystal.
Oh, there's our last pendant. Kind of bad news for Chex, but I would not be surprised to see Malmo in Skullwoods before a lot of other dungeons anyway. It does tell us what all of our crystals are at this point. We really, really want to see the Maya medallion. That's kind of the last big question mark about the seed.
I was saying we really want to see Malmo go to the back of pod because there was some good stuff.
True. She's totally fine if she doesn't get Lamp and Pearl, but it will speed her up so much if she gets them. And we are seeing Chex go to Helmslot now. Presumably. There's a number of other things he could be doing, but I would expect Helmslot to be the first thing. Yeah, Malmo is skipping the back, it looks like. Kind of interesting. She has the same problem regarding Hera in terms of completing the dungeon, but she's not going to need the Hera door open if she wants to dupe Maya and Myra's Ether. Although she could just be doing Chex as 2 different pod trips, but in a different order. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I really expect Chex to do the Myra dupe after this.
Oh yeah, he can do the new one.
The Kane setup, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I totally forgot about that. Hopefully he has a potion for that. The blue one will not work.
What potion? I don't think you need a potion. It's a no bottles dupe that you do.
Well, you need
to get back to Hera.
Back to
Yeah,
Hera,
okay.
Yeah. We see 2 people getting exploded in doorways. Typical no logic gameplay. This is a bunch of camera manipulation and door juking using the statue drag state that we stored when pulling the statue down the staircase and then getting hit. There's a lot of specifics that I don't really understand, but essentially we transition with a broken enough transition that we go straight to Helmslot. It makes Pod one of the simpler dungeons to beat.
Chex has the lamp out! Let's go!
He's doing it. Yeah, this is a misslotting glitch where we put a bomb into a slotted memory where it's not supposed to be, and then he's able to extend the effect of the bomb, although he does have to not die. Oh, he walked into his bomb explosion.
Oh, wait. The classic Chex mirror or menu buffering.
Okay. What of them get them? But yeah, extending the bomb duration allows him to use one bomb to explode the mask. It's quite useful when you have one bombs, or if you just want to save them, which you generally want to do in no logic. I'm always going back in. I wonder if she's gonna do the back, but just skip out on doing the big chest. Or maybe she's gonna juke to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this looks like the juke.
She unfortunately does the not useful checks of Pod, but she might. She has to probably come back if she's opening Hera without getting a hook shot. Getting a little bit wrecked by the sword beams, which do significantly less damage to the mimics. Chex is going to make his Eastern play. I wonder if he's going to skip some extra items than Melmer did. Although, I doubt it makes a lot of sense to do that. Oh my god!
What? Oh, what?
Chex did not get that. Oh, that could be really big, although she didn't get the lamp.
Whatever, that's Hera though.
That is Hera, yes, you're right. That makes Hera quite a lot quicker. She might, if she does Skullwoods, for the pendant, she'll get the powder, which can kind of act as a lamp replacement. Chex is doing the quadrant glitch route in Eastern, which will isolate the map chest, but it will do the biggie chest that Malmo didn't do. But this hook shot is really big. Obviously helps in Hera, because we can Hera pop. I might just left the hot container in Easton. Wow, this is kind of really I
Coming
feel
down, yeah, it's all coming down to what Meyer medallion is.
yeah, I kind of feel if Meyer is Ether, that Malmo has such a significant advantage that Chex is going to have to find something else to help him. Because having the Pearl and the lamp is not... It's useful, but the lamp isn't helping Chex without that hookshot as much as he would like it to.
Yeah, it's not enough. It's just the hardest thing for Malmo, I guess, would be getting the Aga 2? I don't know.
Yeah, if she's not doing Turtle Rock, then Agatu is kind of annoying. I think Chex skipped almost everything here, except the biggie chest, which is kind of funny. He didn't even open the big chest when he was in the same room as it. Okay, Malmo has the same maps, which means she's probably doing Scholars, getting her powder, which is kind of good news for her, even though it's a pendant. Really, the biggest problem facing them, at least Malmo, if she has the right medallion for Meyer, is Ice Palace, which is not super difficult, but it does require a potentially failable glitch. So we might see some time loss attempting to do Ice Palace.
I mean, basically Chex is in the same situation on that ice.
Yeah.
Just crazy, each of them doing different halves of pod.
Yeah, that is really... It's sort of sad, but it's nice that it is kind of... They're both missing out, so it doesn't favor one of them over the other.
I just want to see hook pushing, Tam!
Yeah, we all want to see her pushing. Malmo has the option, but I'm not sure how comfortable she is with powder hook pushing compared to using the lamp.
I think at least the save and quit and indexing she's okay with.
Yeah. Although honestly, there's not a ton of remaining uses for hook pushing. We already did Easton, which is one of the biggest time saves. We can do Maya normally, without the need for hook pushing. Ice Palace is almost a problem because of magic, actually. If we're using one potion to get to Cold Stare and one potion to enter the dungeon, they'll have to make sure they have enough magic left over to actually fight Cold Stare. A lot of Chex will be saving the Desert Prize Warp to go to Maya, although he does have the Pearl, so it's a lot smaller of a problem for him than it is for Malmo to get to Maya.
Yeah, it's just gonna. It's very interesting how they're gonna choose to route it out from here. So
Yeah,
I'm dying to know what the medallion is.
Yeah, they're really not showing us. It's a little difficult for them to. Chex doesn't want to because he doesn't have a medallion to potentially open it. Malmo doesn't want to because she doesn't have Pearl or a super easy way to get there. Ooh, Malmo must be very careful. She's thinking about it. Okay. You'd much rather use the potion for glitching, but not dying is a pretty powerful glitch.
Now she knows what all the crystals are too.
The Desert Pal is clear behind Chex, but with the hookshot and a medallion, Chex refusing to speak to the old man, despite his best efforts. I wonder where's next for Chex. He's going to Escape.
Is this the Aga Tower to Vitreous?
Oh, it might be, yeah. This is pretty cool. This is actually a really, really nice way to do Vitreous for checks. This is kind of... I think he's doing too many. This isn't how I know how to do this, but... this is going to take him to a room further up in Castle Tower, and then he can go in that room to go to Vitreous with a spin YVA. I thought this only took 2 transition corruptions, but I thought I saw him do 3. I wonder if he's doing it a different way. Maybe he can spin YBA in this door and it works.
It was just a normal YBA, but it looks like Vitreous is here.
Oh, wow, that's quite a lot better than the version I knew. But I suspect that this might run into tileset problems that the other version doesn't.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a child set problem here.
Yeah. Yeah, something that can happen a lot of the time when you come to Vitreous this way is that the goop is solid. Yeah, I think the Samari beam hit it. He does have to be a little careful. Ooh, that eye was close. This is a very useful... Metal One is a very useful tool for Vitreous. Although with the gold sword, it's not really like Chex is lacking in ways of killing the eyes. It's just that because the goop is solid, he can't actually reach them.
Oh, this might be bad. He needs to bait it left, I'm pretty sure, right?
I think you can do it on either side.
Alright, yeah, it's out, yeah.
Yeah, if you move a certain way after phase 1 of Vitreous, he can fly off into space, and you will be unable to collect his item. Okay, that's Vitreous down for Chex. It's a little strange to me that he did this before Ice. He could have very easily found a Maya medallion in Ice, but... I'm always gonna attempt the hook push here. I didn't see her set up an index, but... yeah, she messed up some step of it, which is a real pain when you're using the powder instead of the lamp. But she probably has potions to just do the YPA that she tried the first time. If she's using a red, we're gonna see the fight look very interesting.
Meanwhile, we're gonna see Chex get the Meyer prize from doing things in Pod. And then doing things in Hera. And then doing things in Escape.
He's gonna be making quite a long trip here, doing a lot of glitches, each one of which kind of has a possibility of failure. Malmo messed up her YBA as well, so she's gonna have to retry Desert again. So the first step of Chex's long journey for his Maya prize starts in this room. He's gonna do a quadrant glitch using this bumper, followed by some transition corruptions.
Now we're in Hera, so we're gonna go to the other side of the big door, falling down.
This is why it was important for Chex to have opened the door, not just for beating Hera, but he needs to use this door to open. He's gonna write a flag. Well, he's gonna do transition corruption, which kind of fixes his camera, but it also writes a flag to the throne door in the back of Escape. He'll open the door, and the door will be how he gets a Maya dungeon state without actually entering Maya. because that door performs an operation on your dungeon ID. Normally that function changes your castle, Hyrule Castle dungeon state to Sewers dungeon state. In this case though, he's going to be using it to change his pod dungeon state to Maya, because those happen to be linked when you apply the function to either one. The door looks closed, but it's actually not. And now he needs to get... Now he's in Maya Dungeon ID, he needs to get to a boss arena to collect his prize. And that's going to be Hera. He's going to do a YBA from the back of the sewers, which will take him into Hera.
Neither did Dark Cross, right? We get to see it?
I don't believe so.
The cape! It's not helpful.
Chex is loaded on safeties. But yeah, he's through the hard part of the trick mostly. This can still fail, but once he does his YBA, he's pretty safe. Mama got her slot 9 block. So she's gonna... Malmo has been doing her own glitches, by the way. She used the powder to set an index on her way to desert, and now she is going to use this block, which is kind of misloaded in the same way that the bomb was that Chex used for Vitreous and Helmasaur. And that has an effect on the hookshot when we use it to read from a different slot in memory when trying to figure out how to move Link. She was able to manipulate that slotted memory to send her up into the Landball Arena.
Just happy to see a hook push. The slot 9 block in the back of desert like that is such a weird one. Like, you could see that it went invisible and she was like confused, like, is it still there? Did I get a slot 8? And just picked it up to toss it around, make sure it was there.
Yes, managed his pretty difficult Maya dupe there. So now he only has Ice Pass remaining, which is going to be quite a lot easier than his Maya, but not without difficulty. Now we're setting up potentially another hook push with this powder saving grit. I'm curious what she's going to use it for.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
What's she going to do?
This is definitely the ice play, yeah.
Yeah. She's going to be very closely followed by Chex. A different form of... Oh no.
Was out arrows and was going to use arrows to unleash it? This is rough.
She can still do it with Kane, I think, but it's going to be a little tight.
Yeah, it's just a real tight release for Kane because it's such a small room.
He does not need this bomb.
I guess the bombs are the... I don't know.
Oh, she just fills... I see, yeah, okay. She didn't use the Kane explosion, just used the Kane to fill one slot. But she didn't get quite enough distance with it, which is a little sad because she got stuck in the wall. It's starting to look a little possible that we're going to see Chex finish before actually learning what the Maya medallion is.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that and I grew sad.
Yeah. It's depends on what order Malmo does things in, but Chex is absolutely blazing through this. He's done a lot of the difficult stuff really quickly. It's been quite impressive. Chex is also going to have a much quicker time getting to Agatu once he's done, because of having the pearl. It's kind of felt a little bit like the pearl has helped Chex more than the hookshot has helped Malmo.
Yeah, for sure. Malmo's had a couple of unfortunate YBA failures, which I think have been pretty costly.
Yeah, that's true. Not really her fault at all. It's quite impressive that Chex can do these glitches without screwing up, but the rest of us are human and we make mistakes.
I don't like watching Chex do this trick. And do you know why I don't like watching Chex do this trick?
Because he doesn't use...
He doesn't do the Tam Slam!
Yeah. Yeah, there's Oh, he's actually low on health. He has for magic. This might be bad. Okay, you got hit by the ice instead of the coaster. Luckily he does have the gold sword, so this fight shouldn't spiral too much out of control, but he's probably sweating a little bit.
Right, we're just Agatu and a Ganon away for Chex to complete the seed.
Which is not going to take him long at all. With the pearl, he has quite very quick access to Agatu, which he'll get to through Turtle Rock, presumably. I was not expecting dying to be the problem with Gold Star in this seed. I see Malmo doing some checks. I mean, oh, that's kind of funny. Got a nice pass, but there's no real item that can make things easier for Malmo that we don't already know the location of. Other than maybe a different medallion for bombers. For Maya. I wonder if Malmo's gonna do the hook push instead of the... She got the glove, so she can actually do the easier hook push to Gold Stab.
I think Chex wanted a refill, realized he had Mirror Shield, and then just gave up and is now going to Powder. Okay.
It's kind of fun. Snowboard's kind of... with the cane, it's a secret backdoor to the Agatu Arena. There's actually a number of these doors hidden in Turtle Rock that take you straight to Agatu, which is pretty convenient. Prevents us from having to climb GT or find alternate methods of fighting Agatu. Much less scary cold set fight than Chex.
Oh, that was a rough one. Alright, hurry, Momo. Figure out what the medallion is.
You don't have a super quick way to actually find out without buying a blue potion.
Yeah.
She's looking like she might push there somehow. Maybe from desert. Next to the Ganon fight. Pretty straightforward.
The rando bats.
Yeah, these are bad.
Oh no!
These are actually really bad. Good thing he got that refill in Turtle Rock. Alright, he should be fine. He can still get caught out by a stray bat, but should have it under control. Which was pretty important for him to get with no lamp.
Chex has the lamp.
Oh, you're right. It's Malmo who doesn't have it, of course.
It was all in pod.
It's gonna be so close to Maya entrance, but I don't think she's gonna get there in time. There's the final hit on Ganon. Yeah, GG's in for Chex, who will finish this race in first place.
And with this win, Chex evens up the score. We're gonna go to a final game for the No Logic Championship tomorrow at the same time.
Already scheduled. The second game. Even though it looks like Malmo is not very close at all to the Maya entrance, she's actually very, very close to finding out the Maya medallion, but with Yuan for so long. Oh no! She pushed the block.
Oh yeah, that's it.
She can still YBA.
Yeah,
She
sure.
doesn't need versions to beat Maya at all. She's just gonna stay in Eastern State, I guess. I guess she doesn't wanna... She wants to make sure that if she doesn't have the medallion, then she doesn't have to find another way to the front of Maya.
Or like get the medallions in here.
Yeah. We are joined by Chexhuman though. Congratulations on the race.
Thanks, GG.
Yeah, GG Chex. How did you feel about the situation?
It was a fast seed, and I felt like I had go mode at 25 minutes, but wanted to continue to be thorough, gather rupees, and anything else that would be lucky along the way. So, nice to have Pearl and Lamp show up.
Yeah, that's fair. So Malmo found the hook shot. Just give us a wild guess. Where do you think the hook shot was?
Eastern Big Chest?
No, it was in pod.
Oh.
Malmo does not have the lamp or the moon pearl.
Oh no, that's
So
a
you
thing.
guys, you guys just totally split it.
Okay. I figured, okay, I was extra thorough in my race versus Krithel, and I even did right side pod and felt like, you know, that was just unnecessary. So this hook shot was on right side pod?
Yes.
Okay.
Both skipped parts of
Excellent.
pod and ended up with half of a useful glitching kit, but Malmo has been having a bit of trouble. She's been slowed down a little bit by not having the pearl in the lamp, but she's also had a handful of trouble with some YBAs. She did find a medallion for potential Maya, but we still don't actually know what the Maya medallion is. So we don't know if it's useful yet. She found ether in back of escape.
Okay.
You really made very quick work of this scene. I don't think you really made a single mistake, really. And you did a lot of very difficult sequences of glitches to complete the dungeons that you had to. So it was a pretty impressive showing, despite I'm sure you must have been feeling quite a lot of nerves about this race.
Thanks.
Yeah, basically the decision to just do Meyer without ever actually seeing anything in Meyer, pretty good.
Yeah. Part of that was I didn't have gloves, so I couldn't get out of Landmo and go to the desert left side, where I could have... Oh, that doesn't really make sense. I couldn't mirror out of there anyway. But they could have been separate plays in which I went from desert to YBA to Vitreous, then could have warped out. I don't know. But I didn't care because I didn't have a single medallion. Or at least I realized that later. At some point.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a fair way to look at it.
Like Malmo is continuing the seed. She only needs to get the Maya crystal at this point. I wonder if she'll buy a blue to go actually check if she just has it. But it doesn't. She might go through Easton, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have the Hera door unlocked, which is going to be a thing. Unless she does the same pod quadrant glitch stuff.
I wonder if she's trying to delete the silver door right now, actually. I think she might be doing the same Maya tube, or attempting to, at least. Or she's going to...
No. I see that there's no big key. I wonder, I can't remember what that was.
Oh, you did it from Pod Cave State.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
You actually took 3 different trips to Pod to get everything done.
Right.
West Samaria.
Does that work? That will be interesting.
What did you say, Tam?
Just not sure what Malmo is trying to do right now. Kind of looks like she's setting up to try to do a West Samaria to maybe open the door a bit. It looks like she's full footing.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, she's actually just done, I think.
So get your GGs in chat for Malmo.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a good showing. And we're joined by Malmo in the booth. GG's, Malmo.
GG.
What were your feelings about the seed? How were you feeling while you were going through it?
Go mode too fast.
Yeah, you guys really hit go mode pretty much for free in this seed. Once you got the fire rods in Thieves Town.
I can't beat Chex in a seed like this. I kind of knew when I saw those that this wasn't my seed.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll ask you the same kind of question I asked Chex. Chex has the moon pearl and the lamp.
What the heck are those?
What's your guess? Where do you think they were?
Back of pod.
Yeah, all right. Well, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the one thing I didn't do when I started kind of half go moding things. I got the hook shot. God, you get hook pushing in there.
Chex
No,
did not get the
Chex
hook.
did not.
You didn't get the hook. Oh no.
Chex
Well-
also didn't do one thing in pod.
Well, if there was, I don't know which one I would choose. Given my performance with hook pushes today, though, I'd probably choose the lamp. Well, no, the lamp doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think the pearl kind of helped Chex.
Pearl wouldn't. Yeah, Pearl wouldn't do much for me either.
Where
Took
was
me out of-
Powder again?
Powder was in Macula.
Oh yeah. Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, on
So
Makula.
kind of out of the way, but obviously in a place
That
you
was-
would get it.
I was having a lot of trouble today. I'm just, I don't know. It's my standard. It's not like I'm playing worse than usual. I'm just, why am I here? Why am I in the finals?
You're consistent.
Mm,
You've dominated the upper bracket. I don't think it's fair for you to say why are you in the finals. You definitely deserve to be in the finals.
yeah, I guess. But I feel like the way I'm playing today is not finals level play.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair, but tomorrow is a new day, and tomorrow is going to be the actual final game. So
Yeah. Well, it certainly felt like my chances were better when I only had to win 1 out of 2 races, but now I have to win 1 out of 1, and it's a little bit scarier. But I think I will not be unhappy to see Chex on the Landbridge sign at the end of this tournament, because if there's anybody who's conspicuously absent from that sign, it's him.
yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it. And yeah, before we get to tomorrow's interview, thanks for organizing this tournament. It's been a lot of fun, so it's a big build up to the finals.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thanks for organizing the tournament. It's been great having all the no logic races, all the brand new tech that's been found just for this tournament has been actually amazing just to be a part of.
Chex, did you look at the Meyer medallion?
No.
I need to know.
So comms are without knowledge of the medallion.
Anyway, I guess that's gonna wrap us up. Thanks to our tracker today, Mr. Byer. Great job doing the hard work. Thanks to my co-coms, Tam. Does anyone have anything else?
Thank you, Yoho Tam. Thanks, Mr. Byer.
All right, tomorrow, same time as this race, will be the final race of the No Logic tournament. So be there. And thanks everyone for hanging out.